Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brenda Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brenda Yvonne. Y'all already know here on my channel we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. This video, of course, we are talking, well, not of course, but we are talking Love is Blind, okay? Make sure everything is running here. All right. So this is season 5, episodes 1 through 7, live review, recap. Okay. I was gonna separate and do 1 through 4 and then do 5 through 7 and another day, but y'all, I got places to go. My sister's 30th birthday celebration is this weekend, so I have to get it all done today, but it's all good. We're gonna get it done. Sorry, I was like about 10 minutes late. I apologize, y'all. But I'm here. We're gonna get into it. Before we get into anything, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to comment in the chat or the replay gang. Also, subscribe to the channel, y'all. Like, I really would appreciate some subscribers. Appreciate y'all doing that. And share a video where y'all share your videos. So this season, Love is Blind, first of all, is a waste. It's a waste. And because there's no couples, there's no matches, there's nothing happening. Hey, Shayna, thank you for joining, girl. He was about to give up on my life. I know. I thought I was going to do better today, and then it just didn't work out. And then I almost postponed it because I ordered Instacart, so I'm going to have to get up and go get it out the door, but it's okay. It's just going to be an interesting live. But thank you for joining, girl. Yes, we ready to get into the mess. Let me know what you think of this season 5 of Love is Blind. I feel like it's a waste because there's no couples. Like, everybody self-eliminating. They self-eliminating like they should have done on Ready to Love in Dallas. Like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? Like, it don't make no sense. There's really no couples. The season started out dry. First of all, it started out real dry. And then it was nothing really happening in the pods until we got to, the drama with Uchi. How do you say his name? Is it Uche? It's Uche. I feel like Uchi don't sound right. It's probably Uche. And Lydia and Aaliyah and all that. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I just feel like they need to do better. I'm multitasking. Anywho, what was I gonna say? Okay, so we're not gonna go, every single part by every single part because we'll be here all night with 7 episodes. We're just gonna hit on the main people, the main couples, the main stuff that was going on. I'm just trying to share this real quick. I forgot to share it on Twitter again. Darn it. Anyway, we're gonna hit on the main people. We're not gonna know any particular order. We're gonna save the Uche, Aaliyah and Lydia stuff for the end. Now we're gonna say that for the end. Okay, so I believe they're in Houston this time around as well, y'all. If y'all didn't know that, they are in Houston. So they are, doing their usual thing in the past, complaining about how, I can't find love in the real world. I'm tired of the dating apps. I'm tired of the scene, blah, blah, blah. You know how they do, y'all. So then, okay, so let's talk about JP and Taylor. Actually, let's get them out the way. JP and Taylor connecting the pods. Taylor said she used to didn't love herself, but now she does. And I ain't making fun of that. It's good to love yourself. Oh, definitely. So her and JP, they was talking about a little something in the pods. He did share about his childhood trauma, about when his mom used to be going off on his sisters and he would be trying to protect them, and she wasn't really going off on him like that, but he would feel bad and she would tear up their room, and I guess she didn't like the daddy or something was going on, child. He had a rock and a hard place, okay, in his childhood. He was in a rock and a hard place. And so he shared that. He said he doesn't really share with anybody. He's a firefighter. Taylor is a kindergarten teacher. Shout out to my fellow teachers out there. Kindergarten is definitely not easy. So then they connected in the pods, whatever. I mean, they didn't really have no drama. They didn't really have nobody else going on. They get to the honeymoon, right? Because in the pods, it seemed like they were good. They had a lot to talk about. They really had a lot in common. But then when they get to the honeymoon, it was like crickets. If I had little sound effects, I would play it. It was pretty much crickets. Like nothing was happening with them. They had a lot of dead air, a lot of dead space. It didn't make no sense. It was like, what is going on? So it wasn't really working for them, right? And so they eventually kind of like, they just gave up eventually because it was too much. Okay, my order's arriving soon. Anyway, they gave up because it just wasn't working. What's her name? Taylor felt like she made a mistake. She was sharing with somebody on the honeymoon that she maybe feels like picking JP was not the right idea. And she wants him to talk more. Oh, the juicy part. They were sitting in the bed and they were getting into it a little bit. And she was like, you need to talk. You're being awkward. He says like he feels like he can't connect with her because the person, like the way she looked now in the bed with no makeup, he likes it. But when she came through with them lashes and all that makeup, he was not feeling her. He was not with it. And hold on. Okay, I had to let him through the gate. So he was not feeling her. He basically told her you look better without makeup on. Like he was trying to say it in a nice way, but it was like, it was rude. And I just don't like when men, I don't know. I don't feel like men have the liberty to make those kind of comments. Like we're wearing makeup for us. It's not for you. It's because we want to feel pretty. And like, how dare you say like, oh, you look better without your makeup on? Like, I get it. Like, you can say, oh, I like your natural look better. Like, I don't know. I just didn't like the way he worded it. He tried to word it nicely, but it was not working for me. She was like, what are you talking about? How dare you? He liked the pods version of Taylor better than the real version of Taylor. And so she was like, I'm gonna sleep somewhere else. They kind of made up, but then they ultimately decided we ain't gonna make it. Okay. We ain't gonna make it. Let me read Shayna's comment. Word on the street is what? Okay, that's the other thing I want to talk about, Shayna. Thank you for telling me that because that girl Miriam, the black girl in the pod that wasn't making no sense, and we don't get into her. The white boy, I don't know his name, I'm sorry. He said he was gonna propose to Miriam, and I was like, why we couldn't see that couple make it? Why did they pick those particular people and this particular storyline? Because it's giving absolutely nothing. I know that Netflix only chooses certain people that they're going to highlight on the show. I disagree with that. I wish they would show all the couples that make it at least. Like, I get it's a lot of people, but everybody's not connecting, first of all. Second of all, they can at least show all the proposals and maybe show everyone going on a honeymoon. Maybe not show everyone living together and have them at the reunion if there's too many. This season they ain't got nobody, so they really could have showed everybody's. Like I really don't understand it at all. It's making no sense. Yeah, that's crazy, Shayna. Okay. Yeah, lackluster season. Yeah, they needed to show everyone. I agree. They definitely need to show everyone. So okay, so in the pods, let's go back to the pod. So Miriam was connecting with, we're trying to connect with Uche. And she, every time he's asking her a question, she's like, I did different types of signs. Like, she could answer no directions correctly. Like, no questions correctly. I'm sorry. To me, she sounded like she was lying, but I don't think she was intentionally trying to lie. She just wasn't making no sense. Okay, let's talk about Johnny and Izzy and what's his name? Chris and was it Stacy and who else was involved in that? That whole and Lydia. So first we saw Izzy, is that his name? Izzy connecting with Lydia. And they was connecting over the Spanish speaking and the Boricuas and all that stuff. Okay, they're gonna do the salsa, they're gonna do it all. And I was like, okay, that's cute. That's cute. We did see him connect with Stacy, and we also saw him have a date with Johnny, right? You know, Lydia does way too much too soon. I think it was first or second date. Lydia was like, oh my gosh. I think it was second day. She was like, you're already my person. You're already doing this. You're already doing that. She was just already getting into what's his name, Izzy, as she got into it. And I was like, girl, relax. Like you're doing the most. And then Izzy's face and body language in the pod, and he was barely saying anything. It was so embarrassing, y'all. It was really, really embarrassing. Okay, my order's at the door. So yeah, it was just a whole hot mess. And so let me read this real quick. Another couple. Dang. So somebody else went to Mexico and they cut them. That's crazy. That is so crazy. So yeah, they definitely like could have showed the people. Like I agree. Hold on, I'll be right back, y'all. Hold on. Okay, I didn't want to leave my groceries at the door for a long time, so I was like, let me just go get them real quick. Sorry about that, y'all, but you know we live, so things are gonna happen. They're gonna move. So anywho, I should turn the air up more while I was up, but anyway, because it's getting hot in here. So what we was talking about? Oh yeah, Lydia. So Lydia was doing too much too soon with Izzy. Izzy was like, oh, he was not feeling it. So then she was like, yeah, basically you not number one. And he's like, yeah, I'm just trying to take the process in. You know, I'm trying to think it over. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't really know. Like, I'm trying to just process it all. You can tell he didn't like that lady. And so she wasn't picking up on the hint. She's like, I hope you don't forget about me. And so, you know, she did share that she could be too much. She be doing the most. She be doing a lot. Excuse me. And so she definitely does. She does too much. Like, it's okay to have high energy, nothing wrong with that. And like personalities, you know, are different and all, but she was doing way too much. So then I think the next day we saw him move on to Johnny and Stacy. Then the next day with Izzy, he broke it up. Izzy broke it up with Lydia. Lydia was crying. She didn't see no other way to go. Now, mind you, she had a date with Milton before that. And Milton is only 24 years old. Milton is like 6'7". Now, Milton is 24, but me and my sister said he looked like he in the Commodores. Like he's giving Lionel Richie in the Commodores. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the hair it's the hair and the mustache is giving Lionel Richie in the Commodores, but you're 24 years old. Like it's not the aesthetics is not giving what needs to be given, but he could be handsome. Okay, I'm not saying he ugly or nothing. It's just maybe it's the hair. So I don't know what he need to do with it. And that mustache, something needs to happen. But he's like an engineer. He's into geology, and him and Lydia connect over the rocks. Okay. I remember I took a geology class in undergrad, y'all. I didn't know what I was doing. I was lost. I didn't understand it, but wasn't my thing. But yeah, they connected over that. You know, me and my sister were also wondering, like, is Lydia really a geologist? Because she be giving, like, I'm gonna just say what I need to say to like relate to you and connect, but I'm really just, you know, I'm trying to just be with anybody who sticks. That's what Lydia be giving. So I don't know. But she sounded like she knew her stuff. And she said she had a high GPA and all that stuff. So like I said, first she didn't like Milton because he's 24. And I think Lydia's gotta be somewhere in her early 30s, like 31, 32, like 30. I think she's like 30. But then once Izzy dumped her, then she was like, let me go back over here to Milton. And then she convinced Milton that she want to be with him. Milton did share on one of their dates that he, you know, grew up having bad grades in Japan, and he came to the US and he did better. He was like at the top of the class. He graduated early, or he had an associate's when he graduated high school, something like that. And then he already had his master's and all that at a young age. Good for him. And, he's making good money right now as an engineer and working with rocks and things like that. And so he also shared some like medical issue he had with his spine, and he had to have surgery, and he doesn't feel like he's going to live that long and all this good stuff. And so him and Lydia continue to connect. They ultimately did. He proposed to her and they ended up going on vacation together. Okay, so put them to the side. So then, okay, so going back to Johnny, we just gonna jump around. We're gonna get to everybody. Johnny and Stacy now, and Izzy, right? So Johnny also dated Chris in the pods, and her and Chris really connected. She felt really secure in her relationship with Chris. They had a lot in common. Chris shared the story about how he lost his virginity, which was really sad story he told. Johnny is a lawyer, okay? And I guess she has a history of picking bad relationships. So her and Izzy were really connecting, and they're getting deep and all that. Meanwhile, Izzy is connecting with Stacy in the pod, but Stacy is not the girl to get deep. Stacy likes to have a good time. Stacy looks like she is a lot of fun. She be trying to guess men's shoe size just by looking at them. She be, like hitting people's butts in the bar. Girl, you're going to get in trouble one day, but I see it. So Stacy likes to have fun. She's a good time. But Izzy can't really get the emotional connection from her. So that's the issue he's having with her. Whereas with Johnny, he is getting that emotional connection, right? So Johnny proceeds to share more and more with Izzy about like how, and with Chris about how she tends to pick the wrong guys for her. Her mama even said like, first she was going to watch the grandkids, but she's like, well, girl, I don't even know if you're going to have grandkids based on the type of men you picking. She gets very much codependent type of relationships, right? So her and Izzy were talking about their past, and Izzy shared a story about, I guess he grew up Jehovah's Witness, and I'm gonna try not to give Jehovah's Witnesses too much on this video. If that's your religion, that's what you believe. So anyway, he grew up strict Jehovah's Witness, and he couldn't even play on organized sports teams. He couldn't, celebrate no kind of holidays. If they had holiday parties at the school, he had to be picked up or sit in the office or the classroom by himself. I just can't imagine that. I had some sad family members on my dad's side who were Jehovah's Witnesses. It's very interesting. And then I'm not a Jehovah's Witness though, y'all. I'm a Christian. But to each his own. So I'm not knocking anybody's beliefs. So I guess his neighbor friend was having like an Easter party. And they were like, come on, we got this Easter party. Come look for the eggs, come get some candy, come, have some good time. And so he went over there and his dad pulled him away and he was mad and told him he couldn't be over there, engaging in the festivities. And he didn't even explain to him why. So then Izzy was so mad, he ran to his cousin's house and was venting to the cousin. The cousin was like, that's not even your dad, right? That's not your real dad. And Izzy didn't even know that wasn't his real daddy. I was like, oh, we're going to talk to your mama, Izzy. What was happening? What was going on there? That is too much. That's crazy. Yeah, that story was crazy. Johnny and Chris connect over like how they want to, play games with the families and connect in that way. And Chris is really handsome, but he's not like the player type like everybody thinks he would be. And he did share that in the beginning of the episode. So Johnny and Izzy have another conversation, and Johnny shares Izzy, you're my number one. Like, yeah, I have other connection with Chris, but it's like, it's the safe choice, and I don't think I would love him the way I love you, and it's just a different type of feeling, and I know I take risks in relationships and all this stuff. And she was shared that she used to date this guy that had a drug habit problem. And so, he had a drug problem. And so that ultimately ended their relationship. And she ended up being in law school, marrying somebody else. So then when she got to sometime in law school, some girl messaged her and said, hey, that person, that ex that she used to deal with that was on the drugs, he had passed away. And so she was upset about it, and it ultimately ruined the marriage she was in because she loved the guy that passed away more than she did the guy that she was married to. And so she didn't want to be in that situation again if she went with the safe choice of Chris. So that's why in her mind, she would go with Izzy. And I was like, Johnny, you're not making no sense. You're giving little weirdo or little cray. Like, girl, like she gives, you know what she gives? Emotionally manipulative. That's what she gives. And codependent. That's what she gives. So that's what she told Izzy. Izzy was like, he couldn't take it. Okay. He could not handle that information. He was like, oh, this is too much. Also, Izzy, we not gonna let you slide through. Izzy, I appreciated you, like, you know, taking your time. And he said he want to enjoy the fullness of the experiment. I have no problem with him really getting to the experiment like he getting to the experiment. However, I do feel like he was playing a little bit, like he is a little bit of an F-boy. Like the way he was going from, you know, Lydia and I know Lydia was doing too much. And then Stacy and Johnny, I feel like he played Johnny a little bit, but also Johnny played herself because Chris was the initial choice you should have made. You do need to go with the one that makes you feel emotionally safe. And you did not feel safe and secure with Izzy. So I don't understand how you chose Izzy over Chris in the first place. And then the way you try to fix it in your mind, girl, it don't make sense. It really don't make sense. So anyway, then Izzy was like, it was too much for him. It was too much for him. Now, mind you, now Johnny then went and told Chris, like, you know, I don't think this is gonna work out. And I think she did this before her and Izzy had that talk. And so she was like telling Chris, like, you know, I think, you know, I don't know if I would really love you and all this stuff, and kind of telling her what she told Izzy a little bit. And so she broke it off with Chris. So Chris was devastated because Chris thought that was his wife. Like he really liked him some Johnny. So then Izzy ends up breaking it off with Johnny, saying Stacy kind of came out of left field and she really knows him through the wall and all this stuff. Now, Stacy didn't come out no left field, Izzy. She was there the whole time. And speaking of Stacy, Stacy be talking bad about people in them confessionals, but some of it was funny. But Stacy, you wrong, girl. So, yeah, Stacey didn't come out no left field. I feel like he was not going to ever choose Johnny over Stacey. Even though he said he really liked Johnny's voice. And I think to an extent he did like Johnny. I also think that Johnny's just dumb. Johnny's dumb. Let me tell y'all why Johnny dumb. Because why would you tell Izzy before you know for sure he's going to propose that he's your number one? She gave Izzy all the power, okay? And I think that Izzy definitely was feeling himself, okay, Lydia want me. Okay, now Johnny want me. Okay, let me see if I can get the next one. Like, you know, he kept up in his bet kind of thing. Like, nah, we see you, Izzy. We see you. So Johnny just like, Johnny, like, why not wait until you know for sure Izzy says, okay, I'm choosing you, you choose me. Then you break it off with Chris. Not any minute sooner. So now you sitting here looking dumb. She go back in the pod crying because now she don't have nobody. She didn't ask herself out. And you know what? We don't really feel sorry for her. So that is what it is. Anyway, Izzy ultimately ends up choosing Stacy. And Stacy did say, you know, it's not that she can't open up, but it's just hard for her, you know, and to really trust somebody. You know how they do. She's more of a, you know, happy being single, free spirit kind of girl. And I ain't mad at that. Because I be like that too sometimes. So it's like, you got to really show me you serious for me to take you seriously. Okay. So, what if I got to sneeze? So then Johnny went back there crying. Then they're like, well, she was going to pack her stuff and go. But they was like, well, maybe, you know, girl, you could try to work it out with Chris, see what he do. And she was like, yeah, this is my only hope. And so then she did go talk to Chris and tell Chris like everything, the opposite of what she told Izzy. Like, oh, you know, I continue to do this pattern where I don't pick the person who should be safe for me. I make the wrong choices, and I did the same thing with you. I should have went with you. I feel much more, you know, safe and secure with you. And then I did with Izzy, and then, you know, I made the wrong choice. You know, please believe me. He's like, I don't know. He got to think about it. And I was telling Chris through the screen, do not give Johnny a second chance. Do not. She don't deserve it. She do not deserve it. She playing with your emotions. She's playing with your heart. Don't give her no second chances. Nope, back, don't trade back. You can go home. Do not give her a second chance. Please, do not. Do not. So he's like, I got to think about it. I don't know. So then he went back to the pods, right? He went back to the pods and he was telling him everything that happened, and then Izzy was like, you know, let me tell you the truth. Let me be straight up with you. And you know, you might just tell you, he's like, I'm a big boy, I can handle it. Izzy was like, okay, she told me that she could never love you and you were the safer choice, and she didn't want to play safe anymore because that's what she did in the past. And you know, the whole story with her ex, she didn't love her ex-husband and all that. And so Chris was like, okay, well, she told me everything opposite of that. And she did. She lied. She was telling them two opposite stories. And so directly opposite. And so Chris was like, yeah, I don't really know what to believe. And so the next time when Chris went back in the pod with Johnny, and she was, you know, pleading her case, trying to say they would be good together. She wants him and all that. And I was like, please don't believe this lady. And so then Chris, I think he did expose her and say, well, Izzy said you said all this. And she was like, yeah, I did. And I did, you know, she's still trying to clean it up. He ultimately was like, no, like, I want to be chosen. I don't want to not be chosen. And I said, good for you, Chris, because there was part of him that wanted to go on and be with Johnny, but he knew, you know, it wasn't going to be right. So later on, when we get to the honeymoon, though, no, when they get home back to Houston and everybody reconnects, we do see that her and Chris did end up together. I guess they met up at the airport and instantly knew who each other was and reconnected. Now they're boyfriend and girlfriend. If I was Chris, I wouldn't have spent the block on her, but, you know, take it slow. Maybe it'll work out. Maybe she made a mistake. I don't know. I feel like she is going to manipulate him big time. And I feel like she likes struggle love. Johnny likes struggle love, okay? That's why she, you know, was only in love with somebody that you know, mistreated her and had substance abuse problems. She likes to struggle love. She don't want to be happy. Anywho. Okay, so then, like I said, Izzy, not somebody, Izzy and Stacy. Izzy and Stacy end up, you know, proposing to each other, and you know, they have some interesting conversations in the pods. We're not gonna rehash all that. So they go on a honeymoon. Stacy clogged the toilet. Looks like they did have sex and all that good stuff. Stacy was trying to get it popping. Okay, she thought that Izzy was gonna like take more charge in the bedroom than he did. I don't know about Izzy and Stacy. I don't know. So at first I wasn't mad at them as a couple. I was like, okay, I see it. But then when they went to each other's houses and met her parents, I was like, oh, no. Return Izzy back to where you got him from. Please return him back to where you got him from. A side note, I don't like how Johnny was begging Izzy, like, oh, I will show you. I will do anything for you. Just give me a chance. Izzy will, and she's a lawyer, so she got money. Izzy will have that lady buy him all kind of cars and houses. Johnny, you dodged the bullet, even though he did too with you because you crazy. So anyway, so like I said, Izzy and Stacy, they proposed to each other. They seem to really like each other in person. They look nice together, I guess. And so when they get back to, let's just get on back to Houston, right? Oh, first we got to talk about at the vacation because, you know, Milton and Lydia were there and Stacy and Izzy were there. And so Lydia and Izzy did have a conversation and they just wished each other well. It wasn't like too much drama. Izzy said it really was nothing else but just, you know, other connections were stronger. And, you know, Lydia was a tripping in that scene. She crazy though. So When they get back into the apartments, like, Stacy, she owns a house. She has all these nice things. She likes to take trips. She was saying, if heating and air, the HVAC system goes out in the house, like, that's like 10,000, that's $20,000. Is it gonna be, we splitting that? You paying for it because it's gonna be our house together? Like, she trying to figure out what he gonna do. So he said he like to go halvesies. He want to go 50-50 split on stuff. And I was like, oh, Stacy, girl, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Because she was looking very concerned, and I was concerned for her. I was like, it's not going to work, girl. It's not going to work. So then they went to his place, right? His place looked nice enough. He had little decorations and stuff. He said Hobby Lobby, made it happen for him. Good for him. So he had plasticware, like no dishes, y'all. Like, I got serving dishes on my table as decorations. Okay, I'm black, just showing y'all. And I have a set in the cabinet. And I know women, we care more about this kind of stuff than men do. Okay. I got glasses. I got a glass set, 2 glass sets really on my table, and 2 sets in the cabinet. Like, I don't understand, Izzy. Like, you could go to the Dollar Tree, you go to Walmart and get you a little basic set, like, dinner for 4, and keep it pushing. Like, what is the problem? But, and like, I feel like he's too old. Like, if you're in college, I understand that, but I don't know. Like, being in your 30s, you should have some kind of silverware, dinnerware. But I know men don't, because yeah. I've seen some people's houses, and it's like, come on, sir, please. Like, like 2 dishes. Like, come on. So that was like, Stacy was like, is that what you serving people on? Is paper plate? Like, if I came over and you made me dinner, you gonna serve me on a paper plate? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, that's tacky. And she felt it was tacky too. So before that scene, they were like going through his bedroom. His house was nice. He was neat. And he was showing her this drawer of, because he doesn't have a nightstand, which I don't know how he functions without a nightstand, but he said he got rid of it. And so, because I love having a nightstand, like, I just can't. So it's just so convenient, right? So she was like, well, what if you have your lady friends over, and where do they put their earrings and all that stuff? And so he was like, oh, I have a drawer for that. So then he shows her this drawer of like stuff that women have left at his apartment in the past, like a ring and earrings and all this stuff. And she's like, wait, you still have the drawer of their stuff? Like, what are you gonna do with stuff? And he was like, oh, I just put it in there. If they leave something, I just put it in there. And so she was like, but why not just throw it away? Like, why are you keeping the drawer of stuff? Like, why did you go out your way to show that to me? Like, didn't you know you had that stuff when you came back to the apartment the last night or whatever? Like, why not throw it away instead of having me see it? So she was upset about it. And then she's like, well, you serving them women on plates and these plastic cups, like they were accepting that from you? And he was like, yeah. And I think Izzy gets by with doing the bare minimum because he's nice looking. And that would not work for me. He ain't that nice looking, first of all. At first, okay, what y'all think of that whole blow up they had, Izzy and Stacy at the house? Because at first I was like, okay, Stacy, like, girl, he got a drawer and what? Like, I feel like she was doing too much. But then when I'm sitting here talking about it, thinking about it out loud, I'm like, well, why are you saving that stuff? And then why did you feel the need to show her? Like, you didn't have to go out your way to show her that and highlight that. I thought it was a little weird too. I think Izzy is like, want to be a player, like that's what he's giving. And she's like, this is making me think you F-boy, and I agree. So they got into like a fight over that, but they end up working it out. He said he's gonna fight for them. Okay. Later on, we do see them go to Stacy's parents' house, and so the whole family can meet. Izzy, I think Stacy only has sisters, because Izzy asked the dad, like, how's it having all girls, right? And so they have money. Like, you could tell their house was very, very nice. I'm wondering what part of Houston that was. I gotta ask my friend that lives in Houston. And so they got a pool in the backyard. Like, they have a really nice house. So they're all talking and they're saying, Stacey likes to go on trips. Stacey likes to do this, do that. They asked Izzy something about his job situation, and sounded like he said he had a job, and then he quit his job right before he went on the show, and then he got some other opportunity. But on the show, he said he does, I want to say, insurance for businesses. It was giving, financially unstable. It was giving very much that. So the dad is looking a little concerned. Even the mom and the dad are like, we don't know. But they were talking about how they worked through the whole issue with him not having his plates and all that. So the dad pulled Izzy aside to talk outside, and so he asked him, like, okay, because the dad concern basically is, I know my daughter, she like to have nice things. Because Stacey was telling him how they went on a trip to Paris, the whole family did, and the suitcases and all that, and how the girls all had one suitcase just for shoes. So, they like the nice things, the finer things in life, and it seems like their dad has given them a lifestyle that they're used to. And I honestly don't think that Izzy will be able to keep up with that, y'all. I really don't. I'm not trying to, shade him, but it's giving a little bit of Dusty. It's giving Dusty. Is he giving broke? Yes, he is giving broke. He is definitely giving broke, Shayna. Sorry, I didn't see that comment a minute ago, but yeah, he's giving broke for sure. Like, where are your things? So dad, he's concerned about all that. So he pulled him aside. He's like, I'm not saying you gotta be balling or nothing, but like, sounds like, you're just getting to another job. Like, what is your 5-year plan? And he said he didn't really have no plan, really. He said ultimately he just wants to be with Stacey and, just give her love and all this stuff what she needs. And he was like, that's great and that's nice, but sometimes love want to take a first class trip to Paris. Sometimes love wants to go out to eat. Sometimes love want to buy a nice house. Like, love. What about when love is not enough? And I totally agree with that. Okay, that's cute to say when you 20, 21, y'all both struggling. That love will keep y'all warm. But in our 30s, and really in the 20s is not good. But, if you want to be dumb, young and in love, I'll let you. But we all been there. However, in your 30s, no, love is not paying these bills. Love is not enough. I need you to be financially stable. I need you to have a plan. Like, it's not going to work. No, Izzy is giving broke for sure. He's giving broke. He ain't got it. Okay. So he didn't really have a plan for the dad. The dad looked very concerned. I was like, oh, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. No. So yeah, Stacey could do better. I'm sorry. Stacey could do better. And she should definitely say no on the wedding day. She definitely should say no. Like I said, there's no couples this season, y'all. They could have showed the other people, like Shayna said. They could have showed the other people. So, anywho, let's now get to the real drama of why we are even here. We got to talk about, I'm trying to see how long we've been on here. Okay. We haven't even been here not an hour yet. So we got time. So we got to talk about the whole Uche, Lydia, and Aaliyah. Okay. Throw Milton in there too, because he catching strays. So, okay. So Uche, he did try to talk to Miriam. That didn't work out. He talked to Aaliyah. Him and Aaliyah really connected. Aaliyah said she grew up in Japan. She moved back to the U.S. She got into nursing. Uche is a lawyer, but Uche is a lawyer. And he also, I think, designed software or something like that. So Uche got money, though. Uche is very condescending, in my opinion. I don't like him. He's like a know-it-all. He thinks he's just like God's gift to the world. So we see Uche and Aaliyah connecting in the pods. Now, first thing that goes wrong, Uche is asking Aaliyah about, deal breakers and trust and all that stuff. So somehow she ends up saying, he asked her, did she ever lie to somebody? She never lied. Did you ever cheat? She said she did cheat on this guy she was dating 2 years ago because, in the bedroom, it wasn't giving what needed to be gave. And she kept telling him, she kept trying to work with it. but it just wasn't working out. So she cheated on him to go have sex with somebody else that was going to be better sex. She never told him as well because, you know, he was getting his career popping. She was like, she didn't want to hurt him by telling him that. Now, Uche gets all mad and he's like, what? Like, you didn't tell him? Like, he had deserved the right to know. And she's like, well, I didn't want to hurt him. And he was like, oh, no, you're thinking about yourself. You just didn't want to deal with your own hurt and your own pain and face yourself. That's why you didn't tell him. And he was like, yeah, I cheated before and I kissed another girl, but I was like 18 when I did that. Like, trying to make it like he was better than her. And he was like, the fact that you would cheat on somebody, and she's like, well, I'm not that person anymore. I wouldn't do that. He was like, oh, it was only 2 years ago. So he reading Lydia her rights. And I'm like, hold on, sir. You barely know this lady. And like, y'all can judge me if you want to, but I agree with Lydia. Take that to your grave. Okay, girl. You don't tell nobody. I mean, now you know, because everybody watching this show, millions of people around the world know now. So he definitely knows he cheated on you, that you cheated on him, girl, but it's fine. But don't tell him, girl. You take that to your grave, okay? You shouldn't even told Uche on this show. I don't know what you was thinking. I wouldn't have gave him that because he did the very thing that I would have been afraid he did, which was use it against her. That's why I wouldn't have told him. Some stuff you don't tell people because they are going to use it against you later. And that's exactly what he did. Okay, he weaponized it against her. My grandma told me, you don't ever tell a man all your business because they will use it against you. And maybe, that thinking is wrong. I don't know. Y'all let me know if y'all agree or disagree in the comments. But no, like, girl, why would you tell him? Why would you tell him? Yeah, but anyway, the guy gonna know now, girl, so it's fine. Trying to make sure I got all the comments. Oh, okay. Oh my God. Then he'll want children and he broke. Yep. Talking about Izzy. Yeah, he's broke. So yeah, back to Leah and Uchi. So she felt bad, about telling him. She felt really judged by him. He's telling the guys in the pod, and they're like, okay, is that enough for you to be upset about? Like, what's really going on? And so she went and cried in Lydia's arms because Leah and Lydia are like best friends in the pod. And she was like, oh, if he doesn't see, that's some things he needs to work on. If he doesn't see the value in you, Lydia pumping Leah up, okay? Now, first time I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, Lydia's a good friend. It's a bit much for me. But it's like, okay, she a good friend because y'all know each other. But I was like, okay. Now, but me not knowing that Lydia was the ops the whole time, y'all, right? Okay. And I rewatched it the second time today before I got on this live. That's why I was running late. And I was like, oh, the signs were there. Look, I was looking at Lydia's facial expressions and her tones and the way she was saying, oh, he needs to work on this and this. I was like, oh, there was the clues. She was giving us all the clues. We wasn't picking up on them, y'all. I wasn't picking up on them. So let me see this comment. Okay. That's right. Don't tell a man everything. So, you say something for yourself. So, yeah, Lydia was consoling Leah down to the pods. So then Aaliyah and Uche end up making up. She's like, I feel like you didn't want to be with me. You was going to judge. You judging me. You doing all this. Uche said, when did I say that? When did I say that? I never said I didn't want to be with you. I never said we was breaking up. None of that. So what's the problem? So they are still good. They still want to be with each other. You could tell he's going to propose to her. That's how you know, Johnny. Okay. Take notes. So then, I don't know if it was the same pod day or another pod day, but Uche is, and Aaliyah are talking about things they want out of life and they seem like they were a cute couple. And Uche is like, I do have one thing I haven't told you that I need to tell you. So I'm like, oh, now Uche got a secret. Uche proceeds to tell Lydia Uche proceeds to tell Leah, that he already knows somebody in the pods, and it's Lydia. And so Leah's like, what? Like, because, her and Lydia are best friends in the pods. And he was like, yeah, the very first day I had in the pod, it was with somebody I already know off side of the show, and it was Lydia. So then they played a clip of Uche and Lydia in the pods, and Lydia immediately knows it's Uche, but Uche don't immediately knows Lydia. Now, Lydia has a very distinctive voice. She's from Puerto Rico, and she's proud to be Puerto Rican. She's, very extra. She likes to laugh, joke, have a good time. She said it. She has a very distinctive voice because of her accent. So I don't know how Uche couldn't tell that was her. I feel like he knew it was her and he was trying to ignore it because she has a very, very, very distinctive voice. You would know that was her. So Lydia was like, oh my gosh, I know you. She immediately knew it was Uche. Oh, of course. So she probably got recordings of his voice on her phone somewhere, y'all. So anywho, Lydia was like, I know you outside the pods. And he's like, what? Like, how? What? And so she said his name, what he does. And he's like, wait, who is this? Who is this? So he's still not picking up on it. And then she said something about, I love Kobe. And then he was like, Lydia? And she's like, yes. And then they're like, oh my gosh, like, we can't believe it. Like, is this fate that we're in the pods together? Or, what? And so she's like, does this mean we need to give it like a second chance? Like, what should we do? And, like, we need to just stop playing around and be together. And so he was like, well, no, because it's going to ruin the experience and the experiment. Like, I think we need to, like, keep this on the low. Like, we need to just move on and really go through the experiment. Okay, fine. But Lydia wanted to get back together. Okay. So Uche's telling Lydia all this stuff, and Lydia's like, wait a minute, because Lydia was my girl. Like, what's happening? And so he basically tells her, a little bit about him and Lydia's past, how they dated for some months. He broke up with her because he didn't feel like he could give her everything she needed at the time and wanted and deserved. Because, like, basically, she liked him more than he liked her. That's what it was, okay? And he felt really bad for breaking up with her because at the time she was going through some things. And she didn't know a lot of people there, and he feels like she deserves love. She deserves the world. And he's like, okay, she's connecting with Milton now. I told Milton, you don't have to marry her, like, because Milton is not ready to get married, and I know that she's ready to get married. And I was like, well, what's it to you, Uche? Like, why do you care if Lydia likes Milton or not, and whether they get back together or they get married or whatever? Like, if you don't like the lady, why do you care? That was weird to me. So Leah's like, oh, this is too much. She steps out the room. At one point, she slid down the wall. I don't know if it was that scene or another scene, but she couldn't do this. She couldn't take it. So she came back. They talked some more. She goes back to the pods, and she tells Lydia, like, I know everything. She's like, and Lydia's tone changed. Did y'all notice that? And so she's like, I know everything. And she was like, yeah, me and him connected in the first day in the pods, but, we were going to try to move forward, but then we decided not to mess up the experiment. So that's what it is. And she's like, that's why I kept saying, you remind me of you remind me of me and all that stuff. And I was like, it's just giving it's giving single white female. It was giving very weird. I didn't like it. I was like, Leah, please get away from this lady. Do not trust her. I feel like, okay, I'm not like trusting of people immediately. Like, it takes me a second to warm up. Fine. I try to let my guard down when I feel good. Like, it's fine. But I don't know. I feel like Aaliyah was doing a lot with Lydia in the pods already. In my opinion, like, it's fun to like become friends fast and all that. And I'm with all that. We all need our girlfriends, so that's cool. But I don't know, it was a bit much for me anyway. And then it really was a bit much to find out that, she already knew everything about your man, girl. She the ops. So then Lydia is like, I'm happy for you guys. Like, we both gonna find love. I got Milton, you got Uche, it's gonna be good. Aaliyah's still feeling weird. So then Lydia, okay, she starts saying, oh yeah, I know the dog Kobe. I bought him a gift, and I met his friends. He drive this kind of car. He does this. Oh yeah, he be going over here. He go to the gym on Tuesdays, girl. He don't like the color blue, but he do like black. Like, she started telling all the stuff she knows about Uche, which means that she likes him because I used to do stuff like that to girls in college. Okay. And I thought that was very immature of Lydia, but she still likes Uche, clearly. So Aaliyah's like, I don't want to hear all this. And Lydia's going on and on and on. And I was like, oh no, this is a mess. So then I think they went back to the pods and no, I don't think, I can't remember if not Lydia, if Uche and Aaliyah got back into pods one more time or not after that. But I already read that comment. But anyway, long story short, oh, I heard about that, Shayna. I gotta watch the video, but I heard that he was mad at Netflix or something. I just saw a caption of somebody's video about it, but I heard that he was mad about something about Netflix. Lydia was giving cray. Yes, Lydia definitely was giving cray. Lydia, I need you to get checked out immediately. Something is wrong with you because what you went from Izzy to Milton and Uche, girl, no. So eventually Aaliyah left. Okay. I don't know if she met up with him in the pod from last time and they said they're gonna work it out. But next thing we know, Uche go down to the pods and it's silent. He's like, hello. And producer's like, yeah, actually, Aaliyah left. She said she couldn't go through with this no more. And he's like, what? Are you kidding me? They were like, if you had an opportunity to talk to Aaliyah on the phone, would you want to do that? Like, what you want to do? So he was like, all right, like, yeah, I guess. Like, he ain't got no choice. So the producers called Aaliyah. They got her on the line, right? And they put her on speakerphone and they were like, Aaliyah, we got Uche right here. Would you be willing to talk to him? Like, girl, what you want to do? And so he's like, okay, they get on the line. She's crying. She was saying, like, yeah, Lydia just kept talking about you and I didn't want her to talk about you. It just felt weird and uncomfortable. I would not put myself in this situation if I was in the real world. And I do not blame Aaliyah. No, that is red flags. That is messy. You don't want to start a marriage out like that. Like, if we was in the real world and that was happening, you might could even work through it a little bit better because you know the guy more and you may know the situation more. But even still, in outside the pods in real life, you really wouldn't want to be doing that either. And you definitely don't want to be doing that in this particular situation because this is a fast-paced process and we are talking marriage on the line. Nah, he got too many loose ends he needed to clean up. And the way that Uche was getting on Aaliyah about cheating, but meanwhile you got Lydia hanging on for dear life for you. I didn't like that. Oh, I did not like that at all. So anywho, so him and Aaliyah go back and forth on the phone. She was saying, Aaliyah was like, yeah, Lydia said that she knew you were coming on the show because she looked at your laptop and all this stuff. And now I'm thinking, did y'all try to come on the show together? Like, what's really going on? And she kept talking about you and she knows all this stuff about you. And Uche's like, how could you let a girl come between us? Like, you just left. You didn't leave me no letter. You didn't write me no notes, nothing. You just left. Like, how could you let somebody come between us? You're really gonna let this girl come between us? And I'm like, yeah. And I didn't like that scene because he was gaslighting her. And she's like, well, this is hard. And he's like, you don't think this is hard for me too? And you're not supposed to just give up on us like this. Like, it's hard for me too. And I'm like, what are you saying, Uche? Like, he's trying to like be like, oh, if you're gonna give up that easy, then maybe I made the wrong decision. I shouldn't have gave my heart to somebody. I would be like, okay, goodbye, click. I would have hung up on him. He was very nasty to Aaliyah, in my opinion, and gaslighting the hell out of her. No, Aaliyah, you dodging a bullet. No, he can go on back to Lydia with that. He can go on back to Lydia. Oh no, he just gave me the creeps. Can't do it. It's very much giving narcissist, very much. And I hate to throw that word around loosely, but no, no, I'm almost triggered now. No. Anyway, so then everybody went on a honeymoon. Milton and what's her name, Lydia, they got it popping on a honeymoon. Lydia doesn't like how Milton, he's kind of sloppy and stuff. He'll be cleaning up. So, Lydia did tell Milton about her and Uche already know each other. He took it kind of hard too. But he left the pause. They both left the pause and had to come back because that was a hard moment. He wasn't really trusting her. Then she doing the most, begging and pleading, convincing him like, oh, we could be together, we could be together, we could be together. Okay. And then finally Milton was like, all right, I'm gonna go and be with this old lady. And he proposed. Okay. They also went to each other's apartments as well. I guess, does Milton have a roommate? That's what it was looking like. But I'm like, he got plenty of money. I don't know why he got a roommate, but some people just, they be on a roommate for whatever. Shoot, sometimes with the way this economy set up, I wouldn't mind having a roommate. And I sure don't like having roommates. But anywho, so she met his roommate and all that. He does have the telescope like he was talking about. He said it's like an old version. He didn't want Lydia to touch it. Milton and Lydia also went up to meet with Lydia's family. And the mom, Milton could barely understand what Lydia and their mom was saying. He was shading Lydia for speaking Spanish and her accent and stuff. And so, but they seem to like Lydia. I mean, they seem to like Milton for Lydia, but I think they just want Lydia to be with somebody because they know she's crazy, okay? Because anybody can see that that's not a match. Lydia don't like Milton like that, y'all. She just want to be with somebody, okay? And she just want to end up in the end on the show. Okay, but Lydia don't like Milton like that. And I hate Milton even proposed to that lady because I think he knew deep down inside that wasn't going to work. But maybe, for Milton, Lydia probably was a catch for him. So who knows? I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. Trying to make sure I don't miss no chats. What was I going to say? So, they asked, no, that conversation with Lydia's parents wasn't really giving. I think it was her mom and her brother stuff. It wasn't really giving much. But Lydia is just like her mom. She really is just like her mom. Okay, so then now we're jumping around because Milton and Lydia are part of this situation. So when we get back from the honeymoon, right? We see Aaliyah and Uche meet up together. Aaliyah got her natural hair out. And he was saying how, Lydia, he basically, spilling the tea on Lydia about how friends would say, call him and be like, oh, this girl that's friends with you named Lydia, she keeps, looking at my stories and liking my stuff. And it just became a common theme. And she would do weird stuff and buy, gifts for the dog and be popping up. She would drive by his house and take a picture of the driveway and be like, I see you. That is weird. She is cray-cray. That is weird. Like, you do not do that. You do not do that, Lydia. Excuse me. You do not do that. Like, no, don't do that. That's weird. So, he was basically telling on Lydia, like, she crazy. She was doing all this. She was liking me too much. And so he was like, kind of saying what he said earlier, like he felt bad, but then she did get friends. She was going to therapy and she was seeming like she was in a better place. Now, mind you, we also find out that Lydia and Uche slept together 3 months before the show, 3 months before they came on the show. So if she was that crazy and that psycho, why are you still sleeping with her? Because men was just sleep with anybody. And the sex probably was good if she crazy. If they say them crazy ones be having good sex. So sex probably was good for him. But it definitely was giving Lydia loved her some Uche, and Uche was like she was giving too much. And Aaliyah told Uche how she told Lydia, like, because she said her and Lydia got into it. That's what she said on the phone too. Her and Lydia got into it, and she told him, you know what, if he don't propose to me, like, girl, you could just have him back. And Lydia's like, oh, I don't want him and all that. And Uche was like, we already went through something. We talked about it in the pods, and then we get in the real world. You don't even talk to me. You block me on social media, then you call me, then you unblock me, then you block me again. I couldn't reach you for 48 hours. I was looking for you in the daytime with a flashlight. He couldn't find Aaliyah, okay? And so he didn't like the fact that she kind of just gave up on them. She said, she still has feelings for him. Her heart is still in his hands. And she still was willing to work on the relationship. I was like, girl, no, Aaliyah, you're a beautiful, young, smart girl. Like, you could definitely do better than Uche. You can definitely do better. I know it's hard out here in these streets, girl. Options are few, especially for us Black women. But, girl, you could do better. No, you don't need nobody like Uche he's going to tear you down. And I don't like that for her. And so he ultimately was like, no, I don't see this working out because, you just like gave up when it got hard. You didn't communicate. And I don't want to be with somebody like that. And I was like, oh, thank you, Uche. Thank you. Glad you said that. Let me check the chat real quick. We're going to be getting off of here pretty soon, y'all. No, you must be talking about Milton and Lydia, Shayna. Yeah, the age difference will not work between those two. That don't even make sense. It don't even make sense at all. Lydia and Milton, that is not a match. Yeah, the age difference definitely will not work. Milton need to be out there living his best life. He got money like that. He got that good old engineer money. He need to be out there living his best life, okay? Especially if he's dealt with the health issues like he talked about with his spine giving out and having to have surgeries and stuff, he needs to just be enjoying his life. Don't worry about no old lady named Lydia. Not that Lydia's old, y'all, but you know what I'm saying. So Aaliyah and Uche, like I said, they called it quits. Thank God. Let's see. By the time we got back to Houston, we already know JP and Taylor were done. In episode 7, the very last major scene, we see everybody get together because they want to, catch up with the cast and all that. Now, mind you, typically Love is Blind doesn't catch up with everyone who was on the show, really. Well, I guess they did. The season with what is that boy's name? Bartice and Nancy and Andrew, because remember Andrew came somewhere they were at during the show, so they do kind of bring back the other ones. I think they do bring them in somewhere in the middle there. I was thinking they don't do it till like after the altar, but I forgot they do bring them in sometime. But I don't know. I feel like this season they had to do it soon because they didn't have nothing else to work with. But not like, why not show us the other couples instead? Like, I don't really get what Netflix is doing with the show. This show about to go down the drain just like the other shows. Like, come on now. So everybody gathers together. They're like, dang, JP and what's her name? Taylor didn't make it. Like, that sucks. Okay, so at this little gathering, everybody's drinking, talking, eating, having a good time. Izzy and Johnny sit together, and Izzy like reads Johnny down for filth. And I was like, whoa, like, what are we missing? Like, where did that come from? Like, I get it, Johnny is not the best person, but dang, like, he was like, yeah, you basically told Chris one thing and then you told me the complete opposite. And she's like, okay, I did say this, but what are you saying? Like, and she was like, yeah, I made a mistake. And now I'm trying to like, make it up to Chris and make him not feel like he's in second place, which he knows he's in second place. I don't even know why he gave that lady a second chance, but either way. And he's like, no, you lied. You are a horrible person. You are the worst person. You are weird. You need to get your stuff together. You need to do better. Like, he's just going off on Johnny. Like, I didn't understand where it all was coming from. Now, we did also see a scene where Stacey said, I don't know if it was in her confessional or she talked to somebody else saying that Johnny is like the worst person. She, I guess did some things in the past. So I guess Johnny is this season's Irena from last season. I'm gonna have to see more of that. I mean, I can see with Johnny as far as the relationships go, but I don't see what she did to the other girls. I guess Stacey said she was laughing at her or something. I don't know. Anyway, them girls gonna be catty, y'all. So, then they had so yeah, like I said, Johnny, what is his name? Izzy went off on Johnny and just made her feel horrible. And I was like, I didn't understand why. I don't know, he did a bit much for me. And so then he went and told Stacey, And he was like, yeah, I really, I tore into her. I went off her. I told her about herself. And she's like, okay, why are you shaking and stuff? And she was like, he's like, I'm just glad to get it done and be done. And she looked like she wasn't even trying to do all that. And I was like, why did he do all that? Izzy is weird. I don't understand why he did all that. I think maybe he really did like her. And the fact that it didn't turn out the way he thought it would, I think it had to do, you know what? It's giving very much a childhood issue. And we would have to really deep dive into all that. And we ain't got time for that. But that's what it was giving. Because the way you read that lady, like, for what? Like, you got Stacy. She barely got Chris back. Like, yeah, she lied. Like, but what's it to you now? Like, I don't get it. The men on this season are no. And there was a cute, speaking of the men, there was a cute black guy in the pod. Where he at? Where was he at? Not talking about Milton and Uche. No, there's another black guy in the pod that we don't get to see no more. Like, where he at? But anywho, like I said, they ain't showing everybody like we're talking about. So, everybody came. Uche came down to the gathering. Now, I don't think Leah came. And I think Miriam came though. And so Uche pulls Lydia aside. Now, Lydia didn't really want to go talk to Uche. She already know what was about to happen, but he was like, come on, let's talk. So she went. She was like, okay, well, I'm going to need a shot. So they go and talk, and he's bringing up to her the stuff with Aaliyah. And he was saying, like, okay, why did you say, we were going to be together on the pods when we decided not to? Because Lydia told Aaliyah that Uche wanted to continue things in the pods when they met up that first day, but they decided not to. But remember, Uche said Lydia wanted to continue things and he decided not to. So Aaliyah, remember, she brought that up, like, and Uche's like, that is not how that happened. That's not the truth. And they discussed that in the pods. I forgot to mention that. So anyway, basically Uche is tearing into Lydia now. He's like, why am I getting all these Instagram messages of people saying you are, looking at their stories and messaging them? And oh yeah, mind you, y'all, Uche also was telling Lydia, like, oh yeah, she, unfriended me on Instagram or Facebook because, she just couldn't take seeing all the pictures and the memories, all this stuff. Like, he just made it like Lydia was just so heartbroken over him. Like, she was caught up in the raptures of love, y'all. And I was like, really? So, I mean, Lydia's crazy though. So, then he's just like, yeah, why did you do that? Why did you take a picture and my driveway say you're outside of my house? And Lydia's like, Uche, like, what are you talking about? Like, she not trying to own none of it. She don't like the fact that he trying to paint her to be a crazy lady, but you're giving crazy lady. And he's like, why did you do that? Why, it felt like you were stalking me and you were doing this and you messaging the people on Instagram and you telling Leah all this stuff about me. Like, why are you doing that? And so she don't really have an answer. She's like, I don't want to do this. No. Like, I'm not getting into this. No. And so she's like, no, Uche, you really want me to tell what it is? She looked at the camera and said, you really want me to tell what it is? You really want me to tell you what it is? She's like, no, because you're the one. You're getting on this girl about cheating, but you're the one who cheated on me when we were supposed to be together, supposed to be dating. You cheated on me. And I was like, not surprised. Probably so. Not defending Uche in any way, but I'm wondering, were they in a relationship officially or, exclusively? Were they dating? Were things defined? Because these men will cheat on you and claim, well, we wasn't in a relationship anyway. So I don't know. Like, it's too much. It's giving too much. But I do believe he cheated on her regardless, because if we're dating and we sleeping together, at least we are exclusive, right? I don't know, but people, they measure things in different ways. Everybody has a different opinion on those type of things. I don't know. It was too much. Okay, I already saw that comment. Yeah, so I'm like, Uche, Lydia, y'all could just have each other. Y'all could just have each other. It's doing too much. Also, Leah brought up, like, did y'all try to, come on the show together? And he's like, why would we do that and all that? I gotta watch. I'm gonna watch and see what he said about the Netflix people, though. I'm gonna definitely watch that. Because there was another part, I think it was at that party where no, it wasn't. My sister told me. My sister told me, y'all, this is allegedly. My sister told me that producers had asked both of them to leave, but they didn't want to leave. They want to continue. They wanted to continue to experiment. So then they told them, okay, well, you guys, gotta act like you don't know each other, something like that. I think I gotta read. I gotta look back through my text messages, but I think that's what my sister told me. So maybe that's what he's talking about on his IG live. I don't know. I'm gonna definitely watch that tonight or tomorrow. Side note, y'all, I got a tutor at 4:30 in the morning, so I really need to get off of here soon. But we were on here a good minute. We was on here about an hour, so that was this good. Unfortunately, I still have to do my tutoring job, even though I'm off from teaching for 2 weeks. But next week I'll be off from all the jobs, so I'll get to really sleep in. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, this season, Love is Blind is pretty much dead. It's a waste. It's a wash. Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't show the other couples. Lydia, like I said, Lydia and Uche were getting into it in the room. She's trying to expose him for cheating. She stormed off eventually, and then she's like, "Where's Milton? Where's Milton? Where's Milton?" And she's looking for Milton. Milton looks upset. And then I guess next week or whenever the show comes, I think it is Friday. They put the new episodes, right? Friday, we're gonna see Milton and Uche having a conversation, okay? And we're gonna see more. I mean, what weddings are we gonna see though? Just Milton and Lydia? We only gonna get 2 weddings out of Love is Blind? That's crazy. Like, this is the worst they ever did. We're only gonna get 2 weddings. Like, we should at least have 4, right? I think most seasons they have like 3 or 4 couples. Dang, like that's. I bet you nobody ends up together at the reunion. I mean, that's gonna be my prediction. If they stick it out, it's because they wanted to make it to the end, and they're gonna break up after the reunion. But they not gonna make it. I don't see it for nobody. There's no matches here, and they could have just showed us the other couples. Like, why y'all picked the wrong people to highlight, or just start showing everybody Netflix, and maybe cut down some of the other people's time so that you can show everybody, because it doesn't make sense. Now this season basically looks like a joke, and y'all could have like reformatted the show or something. Y'all could have did something different, but this is not it. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up right here though, y'all. So y'all let me know what y'all predictions are for this show. What do you think of season 5 of Love is Blind so far? Thank y'all for being patient for my lateness tonight. Thank y'all for joining the live. Thank you, Shayna, for being in the chat, and whoever else might be in the chat that I missed. Thank y'all for who's gonna catch the afterplay. Okay, I appreciate that as well. Comment down below if you are in the replay gang. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of the season. Anything I talked about. Was there anything from the 7 episodes I didn't cover that you wanted me to cover? Let me know in the comments. Y'all know I didn't have time to cover all the little bits and pieces. Honestly, I don't even like the beginning of Love is Blind, because all that pod stuff is boring to me. And the way they be crying and like, oh, I love you already, and you just met somebody in a pod, just doesn't feel genuine to me. But I get it. It's an experience, a fast-paced thing. I would never go on a show like that, but I get it. There's people who like that kind of thing. I just don't get how you crying and falling in love with somebody that you talk to in a pod for like, a day or 2. That's the part I don't get. But, maybe I have to be in the experiment to really understand it. I don't know. Yeah, so y'all let me know what y'all thought of the show. As far as the new episodes go, I know I will not get those done probably until Monday or later, because y'all know I'm gonna be out of town. So I'll be in Vegas. So yeah, those are gonna be late, as well as Ready to Love. I don't know when I'm gonna do the live for the second part of the reunion, so be on the lookout for that. I ain't gonna do it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, y'all. And Love of Marriage Huntsville. So I'm gonna have to catch up when I'm next week for sure. But thank y'all for tuning in. Again, do not forget to subscribe. I really appreciate it when y'all subscribe to the channel. Watch the video, share the videos, and comment down below. And click the like button, y'all. Thank y'all for clicking that like button. And thank y'all for subscribing. Like, stop right now. Or no, as soon as the video ends, as soon as you see me go off the screen, go hit the subscribe button. If you are not a subscriber, as soon as I get off the screen, hit the subscribe button for me, please. I would definitely appreciate you doing that, okay? All right, I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.